Thank y'all for tuning in to another D. Elliott Fitness live stream show. Let's go. Yes, sir. Today is, what's today's date? April 24th. It's a Friday, Hopefully you're having a good day at work or wherever the hell it is that you may be. Hopefully you're having a good day, enjoying this coming weekend. Hopefully it is your weekend, and hopefully you're not having a bad day. But if you are having a bad day, we're going to let Mr. Chow break it down to you.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't die, and as long as you're still alive, and long as you didn't die, and as long as you were still here and ready to make something happen with yourself and make a change and get ready for the future of the way the world will be in the future and getting prepared and not scared, then hey, more power to you. Let's get it. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Yes, sir. Let's make it happen. And also, we are simultaneously streaming on 5 platforms. We're on YouTube, which means if you're on YouTube, do me a favor. Whenever you see that thumbs up pop up on your screen, hit that like button, which greatly appreciated. I really thank you for that. And we're also on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and Facebook. Yes, Facebook. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor. Well, not on Facebook. If you're on any one of those platforms, do me a favor and give your boy a follow and all that good stuff. If you're on Facebook, by the way, I may not be able to see if you do any comments or whatever in the chat, so I may not see it. I haven't figured out how to see the chats on my side yet, which I probably never will. So you may have to go to different platforms. But if you just like to just watch, then hey, it's greatly appreciated. With that being said, if you want to contribute to today's show, Cash App and the Venmo somewhere down there over there. Cash App is Daniel2888, Venmo Danny-Daniel-00 to support today's show. Let your voice be heard, all that good stuff to, you know, if you have something you want to speak on or we could potentially talk about it for a brief moment or whatever the case may be, give my opinion, my synopsis on what you think it may be. And with that being said, man, we're going to jump into today's show because it is the weekend. We're getting a somewhat of an early morning show. This one I had to try to put together and structure correct way. So this one took a little time. I was going to do it yesterday, but I didn't have all my ducks lined up in a row for me to do this one. So I had to, you know, take a break because I didn't want to rush this show and do it and it be a shitty show. I don't want to give you a shitty show, you know what I mean? So I want to take my time, get it right, and do it the right way. So I sat down, got everything put together, and I'm going to have to give you my honest assessment and opinion on what I think or what you probably saw on the thumbnail or what you didn't see on the thumbnail. So this show is basically going to talk about, in my opinion, the way I see relationships going in the future, or the dynamic between men and women. I should have said dynamic instead of relationships. The dynamic of men and women going into the future, how it's going to be hindered going into the future. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my breakdown and my synopsis on what I see going forward, and we're going to utilize science and see how that is going to play a role in dealing with people's biology and DNA moving forward. And yes, it is probably not going to be what you think. It is probably going to be very depressing, I might say. Yes. Yes, sir. So let me go ahead and get everything set up because I did want to play some music in the background. Let me get this set up real quick. Let's see. Do we have that there? There it is. Is that it? That's it. So let's go ahead and get this thing cracking. So let's go ahead and get this started. Pull this up right here. We got that there. Make sure we turn that music down. All right, cool. So I want to go ahead and start out today's show because I have a video that everything is going to start off with. It's going to premise from a particular video by a man named Anthony Patch, and how this all works out. And the way I see the things that are going to be happening in the future and how things are going to hinder the dynamic between men and women and relationships in particular. It's already going on. It's already happening, and we're seeing it accelerated, especially after the pandemic. Now, when you look at this and you start to see it and we piece it all together, to me it makes a lot of sense as to why we see what we see and why things are the way they are and why people feel the way they feel, on top of the other things that I talk about. You can couple this with my previous live streams, the one that talks about different races, or the different races of life. I did a stream called The Different Races of Life. Watch that one as well after or before you watch this, whatever the case may be, and couple these two live streams together. and you'll have a good understanding which the dynamic and the way we're going to be or are heading forward in this game called life. All right, because it's going to be to me, it makes a lot of sense. You can't overlook these things and then look at your reality in life and be like, that ain't true, because it is true. You can't ignore it. And if you don't see it, whether if you're older or whatnot, whether if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or however old you are, maybe you don't see it, but you got to remember that whatever happens, you have to look at the kids that are growing up. That's who usually things are tailored to. It's the kids. So look at the dynamic of the kids growing up and see if you can figure out if this is going to be their future. Because if the kids don't know about this message, then their future generations are going to be royally, in my humble opinion, fucked. That's just the way I see it. So hopefully I can shine some light on something, and hopefully, you know, you can get an understanding. And maybe you think everything I'm saying is nonsense and is used like, oh, whatever, this guy's stupid, which is fine with me. I don't care. I just got to get the message out, whether you hear it, whether you take it. If it's for you, cool. If it's not, it's not. I don't care either way it goes. But I think what I'm going on, and with all the research and stuff that I do, this one is pretty accurate, and you can't deny it, because nothing is impossible in 2026. Ain't nothing at all. Ever since the LIVESTREAM files came out, you can't sit here and be like, oh man, like, oh, that's not true. Every and anything is true, and nothing is impossible on this damn world that we live in. There ain't nothing that's too far fetched to believe, because we've seen and heard it all. So let's go ahead and dive right into the first video that's going to base the premise of this entire show. And this is where we're going to start, and we're going to use this video to build upon as we go on and see exactly how relationships, how the dynamics of men and women and everything will be hindered, and the dynamics of children and family will be hindered and altered going forward, which is already happening now, but it's gonna get deeper and deeper and accelerate harder and harder and more. And you know, you can make your own decision on if you think this is true or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and plead my case, and we're gonna see if you think I'm right or if you think I'm wrong. And either way it goes, it don't matter to me which one you think it is. I know that what I've put together is honest and legit in my humble opinion, and either you think about it or you don't, and it don't make a difference to me. Let me make sure I got everything up before I start this real quick. Let's see what we got. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get crack-a-lacking on this show. Make sure I got everything. Do I got everything? Yeah, I got everything. It's just a sharp fifth. Okay, let's see. Do I got everything? I think I do. Still got to double check and make sure before I start going on. Everything is good. Everything is good. Okay. Yeah. We good. Oh no, kick ain't working. No, kick's working. Okay, we good on kick. Okay, I thought I was being hindered on kick. Okay, no, we are good. We are good. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to this video, and let's get the premise of this whole thing started. So first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at this video by a man by the name of, oh wait, hold on. Before we do start, hey, you know what? I'll skip it today. Let's just get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and start off the video. And we're gonna start off with a man by the name of Anthony Patch. Is it Patch? Anthony Patch. All right, so he's going to speak on what he understands and what he knows about the biology of humans and the biology of the DNA structure of people, which is all we know. You know, we're made up of, hydrogen, oxygen, and chromosomes, and we have a DNA structure, which is a double helix. As time goes on, he's realizing that there is people out there who are trying to change that double helix DNA structure to a triple helix. And he's going to break down and explain to you how that works, what that comes to, how it happens, and what the implications and ramifications will be when it happens if you fall into said situation. Okay. And this is where this whole show is going to start. And we're going to start there, and then we're going to go all the way down and dive deeper and deeper and deeper, looking at how, you know, the genders are acting, mainly women. Look at how women are acting, and we're going to just show you in depth how this can all play out, and use your reality with life on what you see, and let me know if you think this is true, or don't let me know. Whatever I don't care if you know, but I just want you to I just want to present to you my case that I have to show you how this all is going to possibly plan out, using science as a tool that they are going to implement. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start off. This is Anthony Patch. He's going to speak on what I just spoke about. And this is from a previous video that I have done. I've done this video many months ago, or like half a year ago. And I'm just using the video that I've already used. And you're going to see me at the bottom. And he's going to speak on this. So let's go ahead and just start here and get an understanding. So here we go.
Avian flu inoculation. There is another very insidious disease, if you will, which is really a man-made disease. It's a biological construct called MERS coronavirus out of the Middle East. It's the Middle East respiratory syndrome.
All right, so this is I believe this interview was in, like it says up here, 2004. So hopefully you can hear everything he's saying. I got everything turned all the way up, so I'm gonna let him keep going. So here we go.
It's made its way into Europe to a certain extent, and eventually, because of air travel, it will reach around the world. It's another example of where inoculations or vaccines are being derived, or they're trying to derive for. That, again, I always like to go all the way to the end. What's the purpose? What's the goal? If you have a man-made or engineered virus, why was it created? Is it simply just to kill people? Well, that's one part of it, but if you go further and you go deeper than that, it is to get people to demand a vaccine, a shot, if you will, or a pill.
Okay, so he's speaking on jibby jabs, but I'm going to just focus on the one point. The one point that he says is people will demand a shot. So he's speaking on it from a vaccine perspective. I'm just going to focus on it from a general shot or injecting perspective, but I'm gonna let him keep going and let's just keep listening. So here we go.
Why would, if you're in a position of control and of power, of ultimate power, why would you want people to demand a vaccine? Well, it's because something's in the vaccine that you want people to then have as a part of their body. Well, what is in the vaccine that you want everybody to have inside their body? It is a DNA manipulator or modifier.
All right, so he's saying that what's inside of these quote-unquote vaccines, allegedly, he said that there could be a DNA manipulator or modifier inside of these injections. Now, he's speaking on it specifically from that perspective, and he's saying that people are going to get to the point where they demand it, but I just want you to stay focused on that right there. So the whole purpose of this is to try to get into people's genes and alter or modify their DNA structure. Okay, so pay attention and let's keep going. Here we go.
I mentioned earlier third strand DNA. There is already, and you can find this on the internet, in existence, a third strand of DNA constructed of silicon. Again, we go back to the silicon chip in computers. The third strand is made of silicon and is also coated in gold.
So he said that they're trying to do a third strand of DNA, which would be made of silicone. Okay? So he's trying to say that they're trying to do a third strand of DNA. But we had looked at previously that we saw that in the court documents that what they did was they took away a strand of DNA, and then with the people who are missing a strand of DNA, they can then add a second and third strand of their own. But let's keep going. Let's continue. And by the way, when you have one missing and you add 2 more, that percentage that you added is 66.6% that you added. But let's keep going. Here we go.
If you talk about nanotechnology and nano layers, this is extremely thin coating of gold down to a billionth of a millimeter of gold that is coating the silicon from which you are building a third strand of DNA. The purpose of the gold is to increase the surface area around this strand so that more information can be digitally imparted or programmed. You're essentially, what you're doing is you're creating a third strand of DNA. You are transferring that or imparting it into a person's body through a vaccine that that person's demanding because they're afraid of contracting MERS coronavirus or avian flu or whatever it may be. And so the government, if you will, or the powers that be sit back and they kind of chuckle when they say, well, we couldn't have forced people to take this vaccine or to take this hidden third strand of DNA. They would rebel against it. But if we create the problem and present the solution, people will demand the solution. Thus we achieve our ultimate goal of having this DNA in every person changed. Well, let's go deeper. What's the goal? What's the purpose?
Okay, so now he's going deeper. So now he's saying that they're trying to create something where people are not forced. You can't demand them to take it, but you want them to take it, and you use fear, some kind of sickness or whatever. But you're trying to inject. You're trying to inject something inside of them. When you inject whatever said thing it is, what it'll end up doing is he's saying it'll add a third chromosome, which he could be right. I'm not going to argue with what he's saying. I'm just saying, according to the court document that I had read on my last live stream about the mRNA, the way it's done is in order for them to be able to patent a DNA, what they did was, and go watch my last live stream that's about mRNA. Watch that, and I went over the whole court document so you can actually read it from like the actual document that they did or a syllabus of it. In order for them to be able to patent it, because you can't patent a double helix, a DNA, because that's nature. You can't patent nature. You cannot patent it. But what they do is they take away a strand, and then they consider that since there is a since there's a strand missing from the DNA structure, which is, I think it's a what is it? It's an extron and an intron, if I'm not mistaken. There's an intron and an extron, if I'm not mistaken, within the DNA structure. They take away one of those. And since they take away one, then they consider that a patentable DNA structure, which then turns into cDNA, or is it sDNA or cDNA or something like that, which is synthetic DNA. So now they have something that they can patent. So now your DNA structure is missing one. So then as time goes on, the people who have a missing DNA structure, they can then start to add, I would say, my humble opinion, they can add these other 2 DNA structures back to your synthetic DNA, because since it's missing one, they took one away, and then they add 2 more to it, which is 2 man-mades, which, you know, the 2 synthetics dominate the one natural. And then when you add 2/3 to, you know, to something, that's going to be 66.6% dominant, and it changes your double helix structure DNA to a triple helix structure DNA. But let's continue. Let's let them keep going to see what happens and what are the characteristics and how people will feel, or how they will think, or how their mind structure and mindset will change when they're in said state. Let's keep going.
Yeah, you go around and change everybody's DNA. What do they become? They become a hybrid. The insidious part of this is that once a person is injected, almost immediately their DNA undergoes transformation. Almost immediately they lose all awareness of the fact that they've lost their independence, their ability to think on their own, to make decisions on their own, and to affect them on a moral level. Their moral independence, their beliefs, religious, moral, ethical, legal, all of those go away.
Okay, so that one is a good one. He said, once this said thing happens, he said almost immediately, your independence goes away. Your decision making goes away. Your morality goes away. All of your own thought processes, all that goes away. You can't really think for yourself. You don't have a moral code about yourself. Your religious beliefs, your any respect to laws or anything, that all goes away. It starts to erode in the person. So they're not able to have really any kind of moral compass at that point whatsoever once one of your DNA structures are altered. So then basically you just have, you care for nothing. There's nothing that you care about, nothing that you worry about, which I then say, if we look around the world today, that makes sense. And then on top of that, you add economic hardship to a global environment. You add economic hardships to people who may be already missing one of their DNA structures. So then you add that on top of it, a stressful situation of economics on top of that. So then people will not have a moral compass. They won't they won't be able to make good decisions or have any individuality of themselves whatsoever, because they're missing one of the natural God-given structures inside of their DNA genetic code. Let's let them finish up. Let's let them keep going. Here we go.
If you remove the independent thought and that awareness that you've lost your independence is gone, what then do the powers that be do with these new forms of humans, hybrids? They can control them. They can turn them into a serf class. Not S-U-R-F, not surfers, but S-E-R-F, a class of slaves to serve the elite, to serve the Ray Kurzweils of the world.
So then that means, so basically what he's saying is that when you take that away and the people have no understanding and no individualism or no understanding of awareness of self, awareness of who they are, awareness of the DNA genetic code that gives them some kind of authority tied back to nature, which is embedded in their chromosome, which is God in this case. They don't have that anymore. It's gone. So in other words, you, in a sense, is like you damn near remove the soul. That's what it sounds like in a sense. So then now they're able to be controlled. You can control them now because now they don't have a moral compass. They don't have individualism. They don't have awareness of who they are. It's just like they're just like a loop on autopilot. They're just walking around a vessel moving, but they're missing something inside. There's no fulfillment. There's no morality. There's no like, they don't know. They're like, I have all these things, but what do I do with these things? I never feel fulfilled. Think about it. Now, when we look around in the world today, do we see this? Do we see this around where you're at today? Do you see people moving in that nature? Like, do you see that? So he's going as deep as saying that they're removing your DNA genetic code. And I'm going to say he's saying it from just a jibby jab perspective. I'm saying I think it could happen in any injection if you think about it. I would say this. This is my humble opinion on this. If you are hell-bent on trying to get people into a scare tactic to take an injection because of some kind of, disease or something that's scaring the world, but you have to be able to inject them with it, I would think that is only that's going to be for, more in particular, probably men, children, and women who don't undergo deep cosmetics. Because for the women who do go under cosmetics, you could stick that shit inside of their cosmetics that they take. Botox, lip fillers, cheek injections, hell, tummy tucks and mommy makeovers and breast implants and reductions and BBLs and liposuction you could stick that stuff in them unknowingly, easily. Those people are easy to get. That's my opinion. He's saying it will be done with the scare of a disease. I'm saying it could potentially also be done in the health and beauty cosmetics industry. I mean, to me, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of scaring you, you're not scared no more. You want the Botox. You want the lip filler. You want you want these wrinkles gone. You want these crow's feet gone. You want plump lips. You want these things. And I've been trying to inject you this whole time anyway. Instead of scaring you with the disease, I'll just switch it over to beauty. Beauty is pain is what they say, right? So I add the extra layer. If it's trying to inject you with a vaccine, why not just switch the injection over from a fear base to a demand? And the demand is in the health and beauty and cosmetics realm, where women, on the forehand, are going to that in groves in so many different ways that I just named. They're going in and they're doing these things all for beauty. Now, in the end, what ends up happening? Well, what he just said, no morality, you lose all sense of individualism, you have no awareness of who you are. And when you look at how the gender war is going on right now, women are programmed to be strong and independent and have lost the understanding of femininity. They've taken on the masculine role. I'm not trying to sound like a red pill content creator, but that's what they're taking on. And they keep saying they want to step into their feminine, but it's just like, just be it. But there's no sense of awareness. It's gone. They have no awareness of who they are. Their individualism is gone. They don't know. So potentially what I'm saying is maybe because of all these cosmetics and stuff, what could have been put in a jibby jab could also have been used against women inside of beauty and cosmetics in form of lip fillers and injections. The same stuff that could have been in the jibby jab could also be used in women all over. Because then if you take away lip fillers, if you take away Botox, because think about it, women of all ages do it. I mean, from 40, 50, 60, hell, probably 70 years old, they're doing it. And it's easy to get one gender, you know what I mean? It's easy to get one gender because like, okay, we got them on the wraps. They demand it. They want it. Now we got to try to figure out how to get these other people injected. How do we get these other people injected? How do we get the kids? How do we get the men? How do we get the women that you know, don't undergo all this beauty crap? How do we get them? That's when the fear thing probably comes into play. And you try to make everybody feel like, oh, you know, put something on your face. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you need the. That's who I think that's tailored to. But the other side is it's easy to get those women. But let's let them keep going. Let's let them finish this up. Here we go.
Who want to achieve immortality, but they need to have labor to manufacture, develop all of the technologies. And they have enough technologies now. The technology, the scientific world, if you will, has reached the level where they don't care about hiding it anymore. Their agenda is so far advanced, both politically, philosophically, their sense of morals, and technologically, that no longer are they worried about you and me as the serf class and the coming serf class. They're not worried about what we think. They're not worried about us rebelling.
Now, we've seen that already. We've seen that they're not worried about us rebelling. We've seen that because the Epstein files came out and people were outraged for about, I don't know, 72, 96 hours. Right? People were outraged for a good 72 to 96 hours. People were like, oh my God, look what they did. Because you get about four days later, then it was like, oh, look over here, we have a war breaking out. Oh, the Strait of Hormuz is blocked. Oh shit, gas done went up $1.50 in fucking 2 days. Gas went from over here in Texas, it went from 220 to fucking 380. Oh no, what do we do? You know what I mean? Now, like, they don't even care. Like, people know now what everything is done, and they're not worried about it no more. They're like, yeah, and so we do. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. I mean, all this makes sense. It checks out. They ain't worried about it no more. Besides, we done injected so many of you fools with our stuff already that you don't know. We done got a bunch of y'all with the scare tactic on the 2020 time frame, and then the other ones, the ladies, in my opinion, the ladies keep getting lip and filler, Botox, BBLs, they keep getting all these things, going to Miami and getting all these procedures done that they're probably getting pieces of this stuff put inside of their body along the way, and they keep doing it. And the more they do it, it's like they become more materialistic, more soulless, more of an individual, and they care less about nature. And you can see them fighting nature. They combat nature using what do you want to call it? The miracles of modern science. So what he's saying, in my opinion, it seems like it goes hand in hand. You can't deny what he's saying because we're seeing it. I'm just showing it so you think about it from this perspective. If the women are getting jabbed up with it left and right like crazy for beauties and cosmetics, the fear tactics was for the people that they couldn't get. They had to figure out a way to how to get the other people. But they getting these women so damn hard, and then you elevate these people financially. Because, I mean, they don't have a moral compass anyway. Because, you're deleting it, you're destroying it. And the more money they have, the more they inject themselves with this shit. You don't want to give more money to the people that's not using your shit. Because then they can't influence the other people that you're trying to get on. It just makes complete, utter, simple sense. It's not rocket science. It's very simple when you break it down. But let's keep going. Let's let them finish up.
And in fact, we won't rebel, partly because right now we've been so dumbed down through a variety of mechanisms. But once people demand the virus and they truly are dumbed down to where they've lost that awareness that something's happened to me, now they can do what they want with us. They are achieving what I call the hive mentality, like a beehive. Worker bees, soldier bees, serving the queen.
Now, do we not see this hive mentality? Like, when you look out, do you not see a hive mentality on collectively how a group of people think? Like, you can see that for sure. You can see a hive mentality all the time. You can always see a hive mentality, especially in women. They have a hive mentality, but their hive mentality is going against nature. You can see it. The hive mentality is against nature. Some men have a hive mentality too, but it's going to be more predominant in women, I think, because more women would be easily to get with the injections than it would be to get men, because again, you can get women with these injections, with these jabs, many other ways than you can get men. Men ain't just going out getting shots and getting injected with stuff. I mean, they may be, there's men that do Botox, there's men that take steroids, there's men that do those things. But if you compare the numbers to women, it's a huge gap. It's a huge difference. Yeah, there's some men that do it, but it's not as many as you would see the women do. And you see the hive mentality that it has when you look at the internet, when you look at social media, when you look at podcasts and things like that. You'll see the hive mentality of how people think collectively as a group, and then move and make decisions collectively as a group based off of what they see and what they hear. Potentially following somebody who has a rather soulless outlook on life, because they could be missing the whole damn DNA structure of their chromosomes. They could be missing one of the structures of their DNA, and this is the person that you follow, but then a bunch of other ones are doing the same thing because they have the same thing inside of them. They could be missing one, or they could have a triple helix instead of a double helix. You know, so it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. He should be almost done. Let me let him finish his last little piece and let's keep going.
Queen, in my estimation, is this elite class that's in power, and it's not the politicians. Forget the politicians. This has nothing to do with Republicans, Democrats, Tea Party, Libertarians. It has nothing to do with political structure or classes. It has to do with the small group that is in control and has been in control since ancient times.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be the premise of what we speak on everything on. Now, if you can look at it from that perspective, let's take a look now and see the mindset that if people are getting jibby jabbed up, and with the jab that they're getting hit with, it's taking away one of their DNA structures. It's changing their structure from a double to a triple helix. Or later on in the future, they're going to be able to add a triple helix to the people who have a double who are missing one from their double helix. So the people with only one strand is going to have 3 strands. All right, and let me show you. This is the video, not the video. This is the topic that I had went on, if not yesterday, the day before, or a couple days ago, where I actually spoke on this. Where it goes right here, it shows that the Supreme Court no longer legally classifies mRNA strong flu 19 vaccinated individuals as humans. They don't classify them as humans anymore. And why is that? Let's find out. It says a leaked document on the U.S. Supreme Court's very own website outlines a court case on DNA patentability, where it states that mRNA COVID jab individuals are no longer human, but are now instead transhuman and patent eligible. The document outlines that the natural DNA is not patentable, but synthetic DNA, cDNA, is patent eligible. cDNA is synthetic DNA created in a lab from mRNA, which makes it legally and technically different from naturally occurring genomic DNA. In other words, mRNA gene therapy is patentable. So mRNA vaccinated individuals are therefore no longer legally classified as humans, but as transhuman, eligible for patenting. Mod RNA DNA made in a lab changes your human genome and DNA within 6 hours to transhuman, validated by the U.S. Supreme Court with worldwide applications in 2013. No longer legally human. Diamond versus Chakrabarty, 1980. I think that'll be it, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So if we have this, and this has been going on, because like I said, this came out, they said that this was 2013. So then, you know, they have to give them time to get everything, all the ducks in a row. If they got all this stuff done, not if, they got all this stuff done, and we're seeing it play out, we're looking at it, and the mindset of that person is of no morality, individual, or no awareness of self, and completely out of whack with nature, not understanding like what they're supposed to be doing, who they are, you know, like they're just like, just kind of like, I don't know why is everything's not working? I did everything. Like people were just completely lost and utterly confused, and they can't understand what it is. And we see this and we're like, man, these people are crazy. But I mean, in a sense, they're not really crazy. We're just watching this stuff play out in real time. We just don't realize it because we don't go this deep. We don't look this deep. We keep everything shallow and just be like, oh, the bitch crazy. Which, I mean, partially could be true. But if you scrub the surface and look a little bit deeper and look at what's really, 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 really going on and why said things are happening, it will make a lot more sense when you look at it from this perspective. Now, let's take a look at, what is it? Medicine. Now, this dude, Rudolf Steiner, from 1861 to 1925, he had spoke on this situation. He spoke on the future of how medicine would eliminate the soul, because they're trying to get rid of the soul. And he speaks on medicine getting rid of the soul. And you can call a vaccine a medicine, in my humble opinion. I would also say you could potentially call lip filler, Botox, and all the other stuff. I would consider that medicine. And hell, if you're under the knife for a mommy tuck, a liposuction, a BBL, a breast reduction, or in breast implants, whatever the case may be, I would look at that the same way. Why would they not just stick some in you while they got you cut wide open? I mean, it makes perfect sense in my opinion. I'm like, why not? Like, all it takes is just a little bit of toot. Hell, the numbing agent they could probably put inside your body could have that shit in there. Who knows? But this guy, Rudolf Steiner, which I've read this a lot, but I have to use it for this situation. I'm gonna read you a page or a couple paragraphs out of this book that he wrote, and this is what he had to say from way back when. He was 1861 and died in 1925, and this is what he said way back then. And listen to what he says. Listen to what I'm about to read to you, and understand what he's saying and how much we see it implemented today. Just listen to what he's going to say when I read it to you or whatever, and just watch how much this is implemented in today's society. He says, you might not be able to see this. Let me see if I can zoom. I probably can't zoom in. Can I zoom in? Let me see. Oh, I can. Perfect. I get my own self out the way. Isn't that crazy? All right, here we go. He says, in the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine under the pretext of a healthy point of view. There will be a vaccine by which the human body will be treated as soon as possible, right at birth, so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of the soul and the spirit. Materialistic physicians, listen to that. Materialistic physicians will be entrusted with the task of bringing out the soul of humanity. That's why I say it will be easy to get the women first. It's easy to get the women first because women put their whole existence and trust into doctors. They put it all in them. With all the beauty stuff that they do, they put all their trust into them. So they're getting injected with so much different shit aside from what a man would get injected with. Women are getting hit hard, and we're watching it play out in real time. Materialistic physicians, which in other words, when they say materialistic physicians will be entrusted with the task of bringing out the soul of humanity, this is just saying agents. This is just another word to say agents, because they got people that are agents that are down for the cause. It says, as today, people are vaccinated against this or that disease. So in the future, children will be vaccinated with a substance that can be produced precisely in such a way that people, thanks to this vaccine, will be immune to the being subject to the madness of spiritual life. So they call spiritual life madness. They call spiritual life madness. They would be extremely intelligent. This is what they're saying. Whenever you become materialistic and soulless, this is what happens. And you see this shit all the time. You see this all the time. When you become materialistic and now you're soulless. In other words, when they got you and remove the soul from humanity, this is how you become. They would become extremely intelligent, but they would not develop consciousness. And that is the true goal of some materialistic circles. With such a vaccine, you can easily make the etheric body detach from the physical body. Etheric body is an astral projection or out of body experience, whatever you want to call it. Your etheric body is astral projection, which I always say astral projection is, to me, the whole premise, or was part of the premise on what Jesus was doing. When Jesus was able to get those demons out of Lazarus, in that part of the Bible, Jesus was fighting those demons in the astral projected world. Nobody else could see those demons in an astral projected world. In other words, they could see the soul or the spirit of the demons. Jesus could. And they was like, damn, this nigga sees more than the flesh. He's actually seeing us in real time, our spirit, or our whatever it is that our spirit. He can see our spirit. These other people, they saw Lazarus's body. They saw his vessel. Jesus could see the actual spirit. Or I would say from an animist point of view, animism, the original religion of the indigenous people that was here before Christianity and Islam. Animists were, the religion of animism is a respect of nature. They believe everything had a spirit, meaning everything vibrated, everything moved. But only certain people, humans, had a soul. So therefore, if you look at battling evil from that perspective, you would only be able to defeat evil from a soul perspective, because then you could actually see the demon. You can't see the demon in the flesh. You can only see the vessel of the demon that is hosting, but not the actual demon itself in the flesh. You would have to be able to astral project to see it. Best example I could give you is a movie called Insidious 4. Insidious 4, the final key, the last key, something about a key. I showed this in a video I did previously, a live stream. The daughter had a situation. There was a family of like 4 or whatever, and in which you learn at the beginning of the movie, this family of 4 growing up. The dude had I think he had a son and a daughter or whatever. Well, the daddy was a drunk. He would beat his kids. Okay, well, fast forward, the movie goes on. A little girl grows up. She's like in her 50s or 60s or something. Well, she ends up astral projecting, right? And when she astral projects, what happens is she astral projects and she wakes up as she's astral projecting, and as she's in fully control of it. And she sees her father. Her father had done passed away. Her mom, her dad, everybody done passed away. And I think also, allegedly, she was tricked to believe that she killed her mom. But anyway, her parents are dead. She goes to sleep or whatever. She astral projects. When she astral projects, she's in control. She wakes up. She's walking around. She's looking around, and she sees her dad. You know, her dad's walking around. You know, and she's like, "Dad," and she sees him, and then he walks over to a wall and puts his hands up on the wall. You know, like to assume the position that he would have her in before he beat her. You know, just put her hands on the walls. He was going to spank the shit out of her. Well, when he did that, there was a demon standing right next to him and handed the woman an object to beat her daddy with. And you could see the hate and anger and rage she had in her eyes. Like it was still plaguing her after all those years to get revenge on her daddy for what he had did. And as she grabbed it, and I mean, she could see the demon. The demon was right there. Dude was ugly as hell. It was ugly as hell, but she was so hell-bent on revenge, she bypassed the fact that a demon handed her some kind of weapon to beat her daddy with. So then she gets it, and as she gets it, nobody's speaking verbally, but you could hear words and thoughts in her head that are provoking her anger. It's provoking her anger, provoking her thoughts to get her to act in a negative way. So she falls for it. She does. She starts beating on him and beating on him and screaming and beating on him and beating on him. And she's just, getting her revenge back. And then somebody else who could see what was going on, I can't remember who it was, they said, "Hey, stop." And she clocked up and she was like, "Oh shit, what happened?" She kind of came to for a minute. And then she looked at her dad who she was beating on, and then she looks up at the demon, and then she was like, "My father was your puppet all this time." It finally clicked in her. She was like, "My dad, it wasn't him that was beating me. You were controlling him all these years and he couldn't defeat you. So you were the demon using his vessel. I saw daddy, but it wasn't daddy. It was a demon controlling my daddy's vessel that was beating me all these years. Now you're trying to get me and make me a host, or trying to host off my body to beat him and become a victim to you taking control over my body. She came to her senses and she said, I'm not going to feed you anymore, demon. Go to hell. And she broke the stick. When she broke the stick, the demon was about to hit her. Daddy jumps in front to fight the demon, but the demon, shanks daddy up and kills him. And before he dies, he looks at his daughter and he says, I'm sorry. And he disintegrates and he fades away. I would say she freed him. Then, now the daughter's got to fight the demon. But then what's ended up happening is her mother comes from a different realm. Her mother shows up. In my sense, I call, because the mother had died years ago as well. Like I said, this woman was a little girl when this happened, but now she's 50 or 60 as she astral projects. She frees her dad from the situation. She has to fight the demon. When she getting ready to fight the demon, her mother shows up. She called on her mother. In that sense, I would say her mother is her ancestor at that point. The ancestor, her mother came down and said, leave my daughter alone, to the demon, and killed the demon in one hit. And the demon, the demon died. So to me, in that movie, that will show you an example of astral projection and how the soul defeats the demons of the astral projected realm that we are at battle with. Because we're not supposed to be dealing with the flesh, we're supposed to be looking at the demons, which is why I say if you use animism was a religion of the indigenous people. Christianity and Islam was pushed on the indigenous people because of the fact that they didn't like that animism gave them a rebellious nature to fight back. But the thing is, the animism, the animists, the people who believe in animism as their religion, were in tune with nature, and they still called upon and spoke to the ancestors that they had. And the ancestors, in my humble opinion, were the ones that could fight and defeat these demons that was inside of these people. So they had to try to find a way to trick these people out of their original religion and put them under Christianity and Islam to trick them into no longer calling upon the ancestors who could see the demons and destroy the demons for them in order to live a harmonious existence. Because you don't fight in the flesh, you fight in the spirit. But I digress. Let's keep going. So with this, it says right here. Where was I? Oh, right here. With such a vaccine, you can easily make the etheric body detach from the physical body. Once the etheric body separates, the relationship between the universe and the etheric body would become extremely unstable, and man would become an automaton. Because the physical body of man must be polished on this earth by spiritual will. Exactly. So they know if we can separate you from that, we got you. You're forever stuck in the physical and can never go to the spiritual. Because then now, if somebody wants to call the ancestors, they can't no more. Then the vaccine becomes a kind of an Armanic force. Man can no longer get rid of the materialistic sentiment that has been given to him. He becomes materialistic in constitution and can no longer elevate himself to the spiritual, which means that the battle that we be trying to have in the flesh is basically futile. It's the battle in the spiritual that we will no longer be able to have if you disconnect the man from his spirit. Therefore, you cannot call upon your ancestors to fight the demons in the spiritual realm. You would always try to fight them in the physical, but you would never win because they always have a new host. So you can never, ever, ever attack them or have your ancestors attack them in the spiritual realm. And that's how I would say that they're trying to get rid of the soul for their sole purpose. So going back to what I was saying earlier, changing your DNA structure from a double helix to a triple helix, it would simply destroy the nature of the person, because now they can patent that individual because they're no longer classified as human, they're transhuman. So now if your original DNA structure is changed out of a double helix DNA structure to a triple helix, and you're patented and you're owned, then they can stick anything inside of you, which, you know, at this point we see that technology of some sort gets closer and closer and closer to being embedded inside of the human. And at that point, your free will is gone, because we do have God-given free will. But at that point, it'll be null and void. It'll be gone away forever. And then if you do get to that point where your DNA is a double helix and a triple helix, my question would be is this, which I think this stands true. Let's say you're a man or a woman, whoever, it doesn't matter, and you procreate. Let's say you're a man or woman with a double helix, but you end up procreating with a gender that is triple helix, man or woman, whoever you procreate with, and they're triple helix. Will your baby come out a triple helix? Because if it does, that baby is patentable. Your baby will not be a double helix of nature. It will be patentable. It'll be patent eligible. So your baby will have a soul. So it defeats the soul of the baby. And then future generations going on forth. So therefore you completely cut off any ties to God whatsoever. Your nature, your DNA structure is completely cut off. If you create if a double helix creates with a triple helix, does that mean that the future babies come out triple helix, or is it a 50-50 coin toss? And you may get a double, you may get a triple. I would just go on and assume it will be a triple helix baby, because I wouldn't want to risk the shit. I ain't finna risk it. Like, hell no. Like, hell no. I ain't risking that shit whatsoever. You must be out your damn mind. I wouldn't risk it. Now, let's take a look at how moving on in the future, if women keep going down paths of falling victim to fear, taking jibby jabs for diseases, doing Botox and lip injections and all this stuff, and also having a hive mentality, just following the herd, not looking deep into the actual situation. Let's look at the world that we'll possibly have in the future when it comes to relationships, because if you remove the DNA structure out of the person, if you remove one of their DNA structures, or you alter it, make it a triple helix, and like that man said, you have no morality. You are completely unaware of who you are. You just kind of like do things. So like pleasure would be the only thing that matters. No, materialism would be the only thing that matters. Kind of like what they said here, right here. They would be extremely intelligent, but would not develop a consciousness. Imagine a child not having a consciousness, a human not having a consciousness. And then that is the true goal of some materialistic circles. So everything becomes materialistic in nature. Everything. It says man can no longer get rid of the materialistic sentiment that has been given to him. He's stuck in a materialistic state and becomes materialistic in constitution, and can no longer elevate himself to the spiritual, completely disconnecting you. So let's look at how dating and relationships would go in the future if that's the constitution of man and woman, however you want to look at it. Let's look at it from a woman's side, and let's see how if the constitution is materialistic in a woman, what will the future of the majority of dating and relationships end up looking like? You know, because there's no other way to pan it out, because how would you have anything else in a relationship if you take away the morality, if you take away the awareness, if you take away the soul, if you take away all that? What do you have? You just have two people boning each other at this point. But let's go ahead. We're going to start and I'm going to show you. Let's look at a few things and see where this takes us. So let's see. Where do we start? Let me find this real quick. Give me a second. I had these all lined up. Nope, not that. I shouldn't even have that one playing. Oh, come on. Don't tell me. No. Oh, my goodness. It's going to take a second. Let me get this all set up because all my stuff done messed up. Okay, we'll start with her. We're going to start with this nice little chocolate sister right here. We're going to start with her first.
Okay, you guys, I've been talking about sugar daddy.
Yeah, we're going to get there too. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this right here. So right here, we have a woman who says she's teaching and she's coaching. And she's basically saying 3 reasons why you cannot find a sugar daddy. All right, so let's go ahead and see what happens on the coaching of the realm of the sugar daddy. She may or may not be AI at this point because you probably can't tell, but I wouldn't put it past it. But here we go. Let's see what she says for the 3 reasons why you can't find a sugar daddy. And this is coaching to the younger generation coming up and to the women, probably hell at this point, probably friggin' 50 and under at this the way women think these days. But just taking the context of the DNA being altered and going from a double to a triple helix, take that into context and look at how this could easily push forward and divide a hindrance of future relationships and generations to come. So here we go.
3 reasons why your ass can't find a sugar daddy. In case anyone was wondering why I'm so qualified to give any sugar baby advice, I'm Maya, a sugar baby in Palm Beach who hasn't paid bills in a while, so I decided to get on TikTok and become a sugar baby teacher because I have nothing else better to do. I've only been in the sugar baby world for 13 years, and I'm no expert, but I do know a thing or two. And I can tell you the first reason why you're having so much trouble finding your next financial provider is because of your energy. Yes, bitch, you give off weak, anxious, and desperate vibes. It's written all over you. You need your bills paid like last month, and you're looking for anyone or anything that can help you out of your bind, including Nate. But here's the thing.
Now, and when you look at this, you can clearly tell that, you know, the Constitution is materialistic in nature. Ain't no way she coming up out of this. And she's preaching this and pushing this forward on. There's no way you're coming up out of this. The Constitution is materialistic in nature. It's survival instinct. It's a low frequency. And when you add together how people's genetic code could have been modified from either fear tactics of being jabbed or from mRNA injections from, you know, Supreme Court decisions since 2013, it's no telling how they're getting it into people's bodies. That's the whole thing. So we could start from 2020, but you know, they got that decision put off in 2013, which means that if they got the decision made in 2013, you've had to master it before you could present it. You had to prove before you could present. So this was already a done deal, probably 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Hell, as a matter of fact, I'll take that back. Right here, it shows right here, no longer legally human. Court case Diamond versus Chakrabarty, 1980. So this shit been going on since the 70s, hell, 70s and 60s. So at this point, this right here that we're seeing right here, this is going to be the new norm for sure, because the constitution of the human body is materialistic at nature because they've been removing a DNA structure.
Desperation is visible, even when someone tries to hide it. When the energy is giving,
I need help immediately,
your negotiations become weak, your standards collapse, and you invite low-effort men to step in and offer you nothing but breadcrumbs. Women who attract consistent providers, like me, usually operate from stability first. That means I have my own routine, my own goals.
Okay. I don't hear enough of this. All right. Jesus Christ, shut up. Now, when you have something like that, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? I'll tell you what you do with that. She a sugar baby. You give a few dollars and you bang her out. That's what you do with that. That's what that's for. This pretty vessel is for that. And she's happy to give it to you. No problemo whatsoever. She's saying that's what I'm here for. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Like, that's what it's there for. It's for that. There's nothing else to do with that. And she's okay with it. Let's keep going. Let's grab another one. Let's see what else we got. Where we at? Let me get this up. This is gonna take me a second because all these dang things done got messed up.
Should you date?
All right, so here we go. So here we have another one.
The rabbit hole I just went down when it comes to this MJ Grace.
We'll get to you in a minute, MJ. So we have another one right here. This chick right here. All my things are gonna be making all loud noises. This is gonna suck, but I'll try to figure it out as we go. You know what? What if I mute this one? Will it mute all the other ones? Let's see. Hopefully in the future I'm right. But here we go. We have another one here. We got another girl right here. She says dating a sugar daddy who has multiple sugar babies on the side. Now, I mean, why would one sugar daddy have multiple sugar babies? Well, I mean, it's quite simple. It's materialistic. It's materialism. It's easy to get a bunch of these materialistic women. Why? Because they become materialistic in constitution and can no longer elevate themselves to the spiritual. They may be extremely intelligent. They would be extremely intelligent, but would not develop a consciousness. This is what this whole boss babe shit is. Yeah, they probably are smart and intelligent, but there's no consciousness. They're materialistic in nature. And this is what we see constantly being pushed. And this is the future that we're headed in dating and relationships. There is no other way you can call it. Now, there's going to be a majority in this sense. Majority is what you're going to see. A small few will still be, natural. But it's going to be very small. Small few will be natural. But the majority, out of there, gone. Constitution, materialistic at nature. That's what it's going to be. And there's nothing you could do about it except be aware of the fact. And the small few who know are going to have to stick to that bloodline, stick to that DNA structure, focus on that small few who have that DNA double helix bloodline that has not been tampered with. Otherwise, you risk jeopardizing your future by having a child with a triple helix person who's going to put out a triple helix baby who then, in return, becomes patentable via Supreme Court decision because their DNA has classified them as a transhuman and not a human because they're no longer natural. But let's go back and see what this lady says. Here she goes right here. Dating a sugar daddy who has multiple sugar babies on the side. Here we go.
A sugar daddy who you know has multiple sugar babies. Let's talk about it. When you're looking for a sugar daddy on these sugar daddy websites, you will come across a few men who have multiple sugar babies. I have been on dates with men who have told me mid-date that they have sugar babies, multiple sugar babies. Personally, I have been in a couple relationships with men who have had multiple sugar babies on the side, and it would never last long. It would never, ever last more than 3 months, honestly. So because they have multiple sugar babies, they're putting all their time and attention on multiple women. So they're barely going to be focusing on you. That sugar daddy will not be seeing you consistently because he's putting his focus on multiple women. He's barely going to be seeing you. He's barely going to make time.
It's all materialistic. You see? It's all materialistic. It's like I see the eyes, but ain't no one there. See, the eyes don't lie, Chico. I mean, beautiful vessel, pretty vessel, but what do you do with this? What do you do with this? The same thing you did with the chocolate assist I showed you the first time. You're gonna do the same thing with both of them. It's gonna be. That's what you do with them, because they're materialistic in constitution, and you can't procreate with them. Because if they have a altered DNA structure that went from a double helix to a triple helix, you can't do anything with that, bruh. You're just gonna bring in another patent eligible transhuman child. So you just chuck and release. And she wants this. You ain't forcing her to do anything she don't want.
to see you if he's seeing other women. And also on top of that, if you really think about it, because he's seeing multiple women, he's not going to be giving you as much when it comes to allowance. Like, he could be giving you way more if he was just seeing you. But because he's seeing multiple women, he's cutting up all those allowances for multiple women when he could be.
But he ain't got no reason to see just one woman. What's the point? What are you going to bring out of it? There's nothing that comes out of this. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Zilch. Nil. Nothing comes out of it whatsoever. Like nothing. All right, here we go. Another one. All right, okay, good. They're muted now finally. Oh, I did it. Smart me. Smart me. All right, let me fix this real quick. But nothing comes out of this, yo. Nothing comes out of it. So you are basically stuck with either A, you understand a double and triple helix and, you know, move accordingly, you know, knowing, trying to find out who is who. Or, I mean, you can either stay celibate or you find out who is somebody. If you know these women are being triple helix, hell, hopefully you not. But if you know these women are, well, then hell, you can't do anything with that because you're going to gamble on your DNA structure being altered. You're going to gamble on it. It's going to just ruin your children if you have children. So you're going to have to find that small pool of people or women that have a DNA double helix feature, which you can bring children into the world that still have a soul, that still have ties to the spiritual. Let me get this out the way real quick so I can get right back to it. We got another one. Jesus, I guess I'm going to show this one because this one right here is actually a good one. Let me pull up another one real quick. So we have, let me see. We got this one right here. So this girl, she spoke on, well, I guess we can go to her next too because she's over here talking. So we have this girl, and this lady right here is talking about, she says that her friend is a sugar daddy. So she knows all the ins and outs on how the sugar daddy stuff works. So let's take a look on what she knows about the ins and outs of sugar daddies. And let's see how, if her friend is one and she knows all about it, let's see how it all plays out in the future. And just think to yourself, this is the trajectory that we are possibly, the masses are heading in, not understanding if their DNA is altered or not. But let's just take a look at it and see how this goes. Let's see how this pans out. So here we go.
It's funny to joke around with. I have a really good friend that is a sugar baby, so I know the ins and outs and the ropes of this. And I'm not one currently, but I do.
I'm not one currently, but I'm not one currently, but
wait, there's more.
Look and I see what's going on. And this is really funny because I had so many messages of potential sugar daddies, even a sugar mama, which is some bullshit. I think they just take a picture of somebody on the internet. But anyway, telltale sign is, and red flag is, number one, they try to take the conversation off TikTok. They'll try to send you to Snapchat or to...
This is simply just coaching the younger girls coming up, because we know that young girls are a big chunk of users that's on TikTok. This ain't doing nothing but coaching young girls to how to what to watch out for red flags to become sugar babies. Like, it's over, bruh. It's over. Like, come on. You're basically letting young girls know these are red flags. And she said, I'm not one yet. Or at the moment, whatever she said, but she gonna be one in the future. She going, ain't no way. But you have to ask yourself why this is happening. It makes sense. Why is this happening?
WhatsApp. It's like, why can't we DM here? You know, it doesn't make sense. Number two, their profile doesn't match up with the context of the conversation. So they'll say,
I ain't even going on with this no more. She's basically low-key coaching younger girls how to become sugar babies, but using her friend as a scapegoat, as to be like, oh, my friend does it. So it's like, nah, bitch, you know exactly what you're doing. You coaxing these girls into it. All right, so we have another one here. Let's see. We got another one right here. Oh, I mean, I was looking for you. I'm gonna get to you next. So we have another one here. This girl, she's gonna talk about a sugar baby having a sugar daddy. She's on some dude's show, and you know, in this one, the dude's gonna start hating. But I look at him and he's hating. Number one, he's hating on some old like policing another man's Johnson. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Like you care about what another man do with his Johnson as far as him getting a woman the way he does. But also, he could just simply be unaware, because it's like, you might want to pay attention to the vessel that you're talking about, because she might, this is all what she might be good for. Because if her DNA is altered and she's a transhuman and her DNA is patented, what the fuck do you do with this? There's nothing you can do with this. So it's only good for you know, a small few with the double helix DNA to stay together and work together as a small group and stay away from all this evilness. But let's just take a look at how the future of dating relationships are going to be shaped out once, you know, women keep using Botox and fillers and lip injections and getting stuff put inside of their body and getting mDNA or mRNA chemicals shoved all inside them. But let's keep going. Here we go.
Say a sugar daddy gave me like $5K just to like hang out with him.
And you still
for
getting
like
no
an
action?
hour or something. Yeah, no.
An older guy?
Yeah. Not too old.
You didn't
Not as old as you think.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Under 40?
Yeah.
That's not a trick. That's not a sugar daddy. That's a trick. There's a significant difference. Sugar daddy knows their old man and baby.
I don't know.
Baby with the
be
big
surprised.
belly.
There's some guys that be on that
sucker.
stupid fucking.
That's suckers.
There's those dudes that be on those sugar
you
daddy
got money
sites,
now. No.
They still be like, I'm not a sugar daddy. Then why are you on the damn site?
But the real sugar, you know what a real sugar daddy is.
Mhm.
Okay. That's an older man that pays for younger women to keep them company.
I'm aware.
Okay, so
look at the I'm aware. No shit. I know what I'm doing. I'm choosing this. And you over here you over here getting emotional about the Johnsons that I enjoy sticking in my mouth. Do you not know what I do for money, you idiot? I know what I'm doing. I'm aware. Do you want some of this sugar? Look at her. She looking at him like, I'm aware. Do you want some of this sugar, daddy? Because guess what? You gonna pay me too, because I'm materialistic at my constitution. It's the way it's headed. And I think that the damage has been done over a long period of time. When you look at this right here, shows you that they've been doing this for so long. The damage has been done. The damage has been done. And as time goes on, it's only going to get worse. Because they already said, I've already heard, they've already said that in the future, since the first pandemic worked out so good the first time, it's like they got to go for round 2, bruh. like we going for round 2 for sure. The first one did so damn good. A second one is on its way. I don't know if it's like next year or whatever, but the second one is on its way. And to see that this worked out so good, and to see that they were able to get this through, and to use cDNA, a synthetic DNA, which is created in a lab from mRNA, like, why would they not do it? And it says mRNA gene therapy is patentable. So when you see all these girls going, and I say that you don't have to just use a disease, you know what I mean? Because it's injected. Women get injected. Women get lip fillers and cheek fillers and Botox and all these different fillers. They getting injected all the time. And then you use they sexy ass materialistic vessels and spread the degeneracy and debauchery all over the place. And then you got men like the last dude I just showed. I already X'd out of it. But the last dude who's all like invested, like, oh, that's a trick. Oh, man's supposed to, like, bro, shut up. That don't even matter, bro. There's something deeper going on, and you over here all emotional about what this girl is choosing to do with her body, but not even knowing that her whole DNA structure could be altered. But anyway, let's go to another one. We have this one right here. She's going to break down people who quite don't understand what the sugar daddy is. So we're going to go ahead and let her give a rundown. So let's go ahead and let this one speak her truth and speak her piece. And let's see what she says on what a sugar daddy is. Here we go.
Really quick to judge sugar baby and sugar daddy relationships, but they don't quite understand them. Now, I have a few friends who have dabbled in this lifestyle, and I'm not gonna lie, I tried it once many years ago, so I have a little bit of insight. So we're gonna.
She tried it once. She tried it just one time. Like, nah, sweetie, ain't no way you tried it one time. You tried it more than once. What the hell is this? Something crawling on me. An ant? Where the hell does an ant come from? I got an ant on me. She says she tried it one time. It's like, sweetie, you've tried it more than once. You got your whole titties is out in this video. Like, come on, son. Where is it at? Where is it at, sweetie? Sweetie, look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
You lying ass bitch.
But that's neither here or there. Let's let her continue. Here we go.
We'll talk about 3 misconceptions. The first one is that it's prostitution. The reality is, some arrangements are physical, some are companionship based, some are mentorship driven. There is a wide spectrum and not all fits into one box. Misconception number 2, sugar babies are just being manipulated. I wouldn't say that's the case. Many enter these arrangements strategically with clear expectations and negotiated terms. Agency matters even if it makes people a little uncomfortable. Misconception number 3, sugar daddies are predators. The reality is, yes, maybe some dynamics are unhealthy, just as they are in any other kind of relationship. Some are transparent agreements between 2 adults who prefer clarity over traditional dating games. Now, you don't have to like it, but do you understand it?
There is that. Shout out to her for that one. But if you look at it, as you can see, who is she speaking to? Probably women between the ages of 20 and 50, I would say, at this, well, the way the economy's going now, between ages of 20 and 50, I would say. We're at the point where you can't help but notice that it's embedded in the constitution of people. It's embedded in them. You can't help it because it's not just a mindset. It's to the point now where people are being changed out of their DNA genetic code. They're being tricked out of their DNA genetic code. So you're seeing people, women, I'm using women in this case, of being extremely materialistic. If they're using injections as a way to get into you, it's easy to get women with injections because they inject their body so much. They inject it all the time. So it's easier to get women and use them as the materialistic side. Because number one, think about this. Let's just go. All right, let's take it from this. If you were a corporation, if you were a conglomerate, it would make extreme financial sense to find ways to inject women, especially. Why? Simple. If you could inject women and alter their DNA and make them transhuman and not human, and make their whole ideology intelligent but not conscious and extremely materialistic, an extremely materialistic group of women, do you know how much the stock market would go up? Do you know how much money would be made because women are genetically materialistic? Think about that. Think about how much money you would make making women materialistic through their genetic genetic code. They would be extreme. That's a cash cow. That's the definition of a cash cow. Hair, makeup, lip fillers, injections, breast implants, BBLs, mommy tucks or whatever makeovers, liposuction, gifts for men. I mean, like contacts. I mean, just go down the list of everything that they're doing. They even do the stuff in their neck. I've seen they do it in their neck to kind of help with the, like it's like a cash cow. It makes perfect sense to get them first, especially, and then as time goes on, these dudes, some dudes may end up knocking them up. And if you knock them up, is your baby gonna come out with a synthetic patentable DNA genetic code? So it makes sense to get them first. And I just don't think the only way to get people with these mRNAs or whatever, these synthetic DNAs, I don't think the only way to get them is through diseases using jibby jabs. I think it's an injection in general, and you can stick this especially in the health and beauty cosmetic industry. And it's so easy to get the women because they demand it. They want it. And then you take them off it and their wrinkles start to come back up and they're not, oh, I don't want those wrinkles. You know what I mean? You can look at Kim Kardashian. What is she, 40, 50 at this point? Damn near 50? I think she's knocking on 50. She's like mid 40s to 50s, she's jab. I mean, just Botoxing it up and everything. And, you know, women follow that. The implants, lipo, all that stuff could be just stuff that's just being put in you. And then people follow that. Men chase that. Men want to sleep with that. Men spend money on that. It's just the perfect, it's the perfect financial remedy. It's the perfect financial come up. Let me see what we got here next, because we got quite a few that we can go down the list on. Let me see. Who do we have here? Oh yeah, we got you. All right, so we have this woman here. She's gonna speak on quite the same thing, but we're gonna look at this lady. She's saying a sugar madame instead of a sugar baby. She said a sugar madame. So maybe this lady may or may not. We're going to take this from the opposite spectrum. So maybe she doesn't have a jibby jab. Maybe she don't do lip fillers and injections. Maybe she don't, because she don't look like she do. But the hive mind and the economic pressure is getting to her. All right, here we go.
Nothing for nothing. Hi, back again. Where do the older people who wouldn't mind being a sugar baby go to? Because at this point in time, I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind it. Granted, I'm older, 36. Not old, I'm 36. But I'm not in my 20s. So I don't think I say sugar baby, but maybe sugar madame. Where is the sugar madames? Where do they go to? Because I look at bills and they look at me and I'm like, you know what? I'll be okay. I'll be okay with being a sugar madame or something like that. I'm okay. I'm easygoing. He wants me to meet me when he wants to meet me. That's fine with me. I got other stuff I need to do too. No pressure. I wouldn't mind being
Hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm just trying to tell you, this is my whole thing. This is all I'm saying. This, at some point, it made it clear that that they have made it legally classified that they can basically turn your DNA into a synthetic DNA and turn you into transhuman, which is eligible for patenting. Okay, that's all I'm saying. They said your synthetic DNA is patent eligible. And what this man said over here is, he said that in the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine. That's all he said. And he was born in 1861 and died in 1925. He said people who are that way, he said they will be extremely intelligent, but they would no longer develop a consciousness. And then he said, then the vaccine becomes kind of a Armanic force, which men can no longer get rid of the materialistic sentiment that has been given to them. And he becomes materialistic in constitution and no longer can elevate himself to the spiritual. So with that being said, it doesn't matter who you, maybe she did get the strong flu 19 jibby jab, which is now what was pulsing through her veins, got her thinking. And plus you put a strong, hard economic crash or a slow burn of an economic downturn upon people. They like, look, I'm not finna come together. Screw the family thing. The hell with love. That don't pay the bills. I got stuff I got to do. I would rather just, give all my sugar to one dude and let this one dude have as many sugar babies as he likes. I mean, and it makes sense when you look at it from that perspective of a DNA alteration from a double to a triple helix. It makes perfect sense. It does. You can't deny it, because it seems like everybody is going. Better yet, let's look at this one. Look at this one. I can't play the sound of this one because there's music in the background, but watch this video. How to step out. Whoa. How to step out in summer as a hot Christian sugar baby wifey. Oh my goodness. Sugar baby wifey. Oh boy. A sugar baby wifey. Hot Christian sugar baby wifey. Oh boy. Hot Christian sugar baby wifey. Look at that. How you step out in summer as a hot Christian sugar baby wifey. But hold on. Let's take a look. Where the husband at? Let's take a look at the husband. You want to see it? Let's take a look. Look at the husband. Look at the husband. Look at the There's the husband right there. It's my husband's reaction for me. Look at him. There's the husband right there, bro. Hot Christian sugar baby wifey. Look at the husband. That's what he got him. He went to Nigeria. Got him a Nigerian. Nice big bones. Oh, no. Oh, he would have got him some. He got him some chocolate, boy. He ain't get chocolate. He got some caramel. He would have got him a caramel, boy. She put it on him, but he must got a nice bag, cause she put it on him, boy. She like, I'm good. Look at his face. He's like, oh. Oh my goodness, boy. She sit on his face 24/7, 365. He ain't penetrating Nathan. Buddy, she be sitting on his face 24/7, 365. Oh my goodness. You know, hey, shout out to that sister for achieving her bag. Where's the round of applause for that sister? Hey, shout out to you, sis. Shout out to her. She like, he about to croak anytime soon. I'm finna get this bag off this buddy boy. Let me go ahead and get this moolah off this fool real quick. Oh crap. That's not the one I wanted. All right, let me go back. Where's the next one? Next one we got here. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. And as you can see, it doesn't stop. It goes and it goes. Right here we have that point of view when I joined Christian Singles looking for a sugar daddy.
Oh, you don't like girls who are tatted? Take me off the roster. Oh, you don't like girls who are tatted? Take me off the roster.
When I joined Christian Singles looking for a sugar daddy. Oh boy, not looking too shabby. Where's my sound? I can't even find it. There it is. You ain't safe out here. Oh no, you ain't safe. And you know what? Let's not just sit here and harp on American women. We got this woman right here. I don't know what she about to say. She finna speak a different language. But let's just see if the message is conveyed the same way. Let's see if we can come to a conclusion if the message is conveyed the same way. Here we go. We got this one right here. I don't know what they are. Maybe Indian, Persian. I don't know. It's a sugar daddy demands among Gen Z girls. Listen to this. You're not gonna understand the word, but this is sugar daddy demands among Gen Z girls.
ना वो अच्छे बच्चे उठाती हैं उनको प्राडो में घुमाती हैं ठीक है ये जो शुगर डैडी होते हैं इनके पास सिविक होती है ठीक है महंगी गाड़ियां भी होती हैं पर बच्ची के लिए उन्होंने सिविक रखी होती है ठीक है जो शुगर मम्मियां होती हैं ना लड़कों के लिए प्राडो रखी होती है
आजकल एक वर्ड निकला हुआ है शुगर डैडी जेन ज़ी गर्ल्स जो हैं वो आजकल शुगर डैडी को प्रेफर कर रही हैं क्या सीन है ये सारा
शुगर डैडी मतलब जिसको शुगर हुई होती है
अरे भाई वो वाले नहीं दूसरे वाले
शुगर डैडी
वो वाले
वो जरा दो बड़े हो गए ना तो फिर निके बच्चियां नु गड्डी गुड्डी ला देंदे ना तो वो फसा लेंदे ने वो
वाले शुगर डैडी
जो होता है वो बहुत ज्यादा
Okay, I understood that part. Did you hear that last part, guys? She says sugar daddy good. Sugar daddy good. Oh man, she a nice one though, I'll tell you that. But the purpose is, what I'm saying is, it doesn't change the fact that the deeper problem with all of this, you know, because you got something like this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put her on mute while she talks. You got this right here, and I don't know what country they in. India, Persia, Morocco, I don't know where they at. But as you can see, you got pretty little things all over the place, right? Doing the whole sugar daddy thing. But my thing is, with time going on, how much people DNA has been altered. And with Anthony Pace, was it Pat? No, Pace. Anthony Patch here, this gentleman here, he spoke on that when it gets altered, when your double helix goes to a triple helix and it gets altered, you lose morality, you lose awareness of who you are, you could care less about laws and codes, you have no understanding of self or no individualism whatsoever. It's like you develop a hive mind mentality with everything else. You just kind of follow the hive mind. And as you can see, you know, the hive mind, it seemed like it's worldwide. Because, I mean, she made it clear, sugar daddy good. That's all I understood. Sugar daddy good. That's all I heard. And I was like, well, yep. And again, I say, if you're able to pull this off, like this right here, you see this, they over here talking about the strong flu 19 vaccines. I'm saying you can put this same stuff into her Botox, her lip fillers, her crow's feet, her neck, if they do the neck thing. Like, you can put this stuff inside of these. They're the easiest ones to get. It's easy to get them. And then if they become materialistic at nature, that's perfect. You finna make a shitload of money. Stock market finna go crazy. You finna bank out on the other end. It just makes perfect sense. You can't deny it. You can't sit here and say I'm wrong on this. It makes perfect sense. Let's keep going. Let's see what this one got to say. This one right here says, part 1 of my Sugar Mama Chronicles. Here we go.
Okay, guys. My mama calls me my African mama. She said, in America, I know everything is cheap. Everything, the store is cheap. Everything is cheap. I said,
got us a Muslim sugar mama here. So we got the Muslim sugar mamas out here.
Mama, everything's cheap when you don't pay for it. Anyways, she called me. She said, you need to buy all your cousins back home gifts. What are you doing? Go now and buy them. I didn't delay. I said, you know what? You're right. We're going to do a haul. Okay, guys. Sorry, I have to cut that. So this is the first gift we're going to go through. There's so many girls, so everyone can choose whatever they want. But I got this guest makeup bag. I got this guest bag. This is my favorite. I'm obsessed, guys. Like, wait. The chains. I can't even English anymore. So look at the chains, like, gorgeous. The next bag, giving everything.
She's just chunking them off like they ain't nothing. Just chunk the next one, chunk to the next one.
Okay. Okay, this.
Damn. How many bags you got? But as you can see, it makes perfect sense. You can't deny it. You cannot deny it. Now, if this was patented in the U.S. as a Supreme Court decision, my question is, this was pulled off. We saw this happen worldwide. That's the question. We saw this. It states that the mRNA strong flu jab are no longer human, but we saw this get pulled off worldwide. So that's why I'm showing you these women worldwide. Because it's not just a United States thing. This is global, bruh. This is everywhere. And not just a Christian faith, not just the atheists. We got some Muslims too. I mean, it's everywhere. Probably got, these might be some Hindus who, for all I don't know what she is. I mean, they ain't got the hijab on. Maybe they could be Muslims too. I don't know. They could be Buddhists or Hindus. Who knows? But as you can see, the constitution of these people, the Constitution becomes materialistic in Constitution and can no longer elevate himself to the spiritual. So these people are vaccinated against this or that. And it says that the materialistic physicians will be entrusted with the task of bringing out the soul of humanity. So you run into the doctor to get all this done. It says that the people who are, triple helix will be extremely intelligent, but they would not develop a consciousness. And that is the true goal of some materialistic circles. As you can see, and we're seeing it. They're materialistic at nature. So therefore, this is going to hinder dating and relationships by far. It's going to hinder the dynamic between male and female by far. Now, what about the people who are down with the cause? Okay. We've already talked about the people who are not down with, we already talked about the people who might have gotten tricked into it or didn't know that they was going from a double to triple helix. What about the people who don't care, who were just like, I don't give a damn about that shit. I don't believe in that or whatever. Here, give it to me. I want the intelligence. I don't believe in all this. I don't believe in a soul. What about that? Then you got those people. So they all the way in. That could be your physicians. That could be your physicians, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, politicians, policemen. That could be anybody, bro. Hell, yeah, the CNO at a hospital, like it could be anybody. It could be anybody. You know what I mean? So what I'm showing you here is just the materialistic nature that we're dealing with, and trying to get you to understand that the constitution of the human body is changing. So moving forward in this world is something that you should pay attention to and just understand it. That's all I want. I want you to come to an understanding, because you see the hive mind, you see the materialism, you see it. And then, like it says, people will become extremely intelligent, but they won't develop a consciousness. But that doesn't mean that they're more intelligent than you are. Don't ever allow that to be the case. They ain't more intelligent than you. I mean, shit, you already know how to read a book and interpret what you're reading. And if don't, just study the words. Don't go past the word that you don't know that you don't understand. If you're reading and you don't understand the word, stop. Find out what that word means. First, second, third sense of the word to see which one is the correct one that they're using. Figure it out. But let's keep going, because we have another one here. Let's see here. Somebody says they got themselves a Bengali sugar daddy so I can be a housewife. Shout out to this one. They got the ages of 70 and 28. Here we go. Okay, I can't play the music. Now, this could be real. This could be fake. I don't know. I can't tell. Because he was all white here. And then as time went on, I guess they've been dating for a while. Who knows? Because you see his hair. This picture looks kind of flawed to me. But his hair was darker here. So this could have been like 5 years ago. She could have been 23 or something. And he was 65. But I don't know. But it shows right here. Bengali sugar daddy. So, you know, this is all over the world. This is worldwide. So the jibby jab was worldwide. And as you can see, it doesn't matter where you go. The general makeup or constitution of people
in Dubai, and we've got Ramadan edition now. So today we
could always be changed. The genetic code of people could always be changed. And as you see, as we increase and move into an AI state or move into an AI world, this just gets more and more and more easier to be true. You know what I mean? This just gets more and more and more and more easier to be true. It's not hard to sit here and say that this is far off. Now, to some people, they'll lose individuality. They'll become more confused, more uncertain, more, I don't know, cuckoo for Cocoa Puff, sort of say. Not really knowing what to do with life, just kind of like lost. And I got an example of somebody right here. So we got this young girl right here. She's going to say, I want to tell the girlies how I fell into being a sugar baby. But listen to how this comes out, okay? Again, like I say, the eyes don't lie. But again, maybe her DNA, maybe she took the jibby jab when the strong flu came out, and now her genetic code might went from a double helix to a triple helix. Let's see how this one sounds. Here we go.
Figure down if at some point in your life you started getting really fucking tired of the bullshit, so you started dipping into the metaphysical and you started manifesting real crazy with the universe, and weird shit started happening, and then you couldn't really talk to anybody about it because you couldn't explain why that weird shit started happening other than the fact that you've been manifesting. And then some of that weird shit that started happening also might have looked a little to society, so you couldn't even share the deep abundance that you were in because you didn't want the perspectives and the perceptions and so now you have all this deep shit stuck inside of you that will probably never be released.
Oh my God! Wow!
Yeah, there's that. I think she might have took the jibby jab and is kind of facing the uncertain consequences that are arising out of that. And I'm just trying to just show you that potentially, and maybe she did, maybe she didn't, who knows? But I mean, Jesus Christ, if she did, I wouldn't put it past her. Because like, what the hell was that? She's wilding out here. But as you can see, the genetic code of people will be altered. And it's gonna be hard for you to tell the difference between, you know, who's who, but unless you know for yourself. Like again, we got another one.
to go for
This lady here, Muslim in Dubai. sugar daddy nights. You know what I mean? Nights with the sugar daddies. It's a global thing. It's a worldwide thing. It doesn't matter what religious you are, what faith you are, who you believe in, how much money you got, how much money you don't got. It has nothing to do with it. Materialistic at nature. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go and try to thrive and become rich. I'm not saying don't do that. Always strive to become as rich as you possibly can. Make as much money as you can and live the best life that you can. Always do that. But don't allow it to come at a cost where somebody's trying to stick some shit inside of your body to completely try to synthesize your DNA makeup of your life. Don't let it come at that cost. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you can achieve this without having to suffer the consequences of having your DNA altered, go for it. You know what I mean? Because then you'll be one of a kind. You know what I mean? You'll be a soul. You'll be a person with a soul surrounded by soulless people. I'm not saying that these people are, because I don't know. I'm just saying that if you look at the, look at the, where is he? Right here. If you look at what he was saying, people who get their genetic code altered, they become materialistic at nature. They lose self-awareness. They don't have any individualism. They have no morality or nothing of them whatsoever. So therefore, if the world is suffering and burning around them, nobody really cares. It's like, well, yeah, like there's no love or care for humanity anymore. The care for humanity doesn't matter. It's just like if you gone, you gone. Nobody cares. Nobody feels anything anymore. And that's what we keep seeing. That's what we keep seeing. Let's see. Let me see. We got a few more to go because I have to run through all these. Maybe not all of them. Maybe I'll stop at some point. Oh, so I found these, which I thought was interesting. And you're seeing. This lady put this out in the open, and she mentions this should be, everybody should know this already. This shouldn't be like new news. This shouldn't be something new to people. It should be like, oh, okay, I get this. This should already be known. But she's going to basically say that a lot of influencers, your influencers that you follow are sugar babies and 304s. And like I say, with women who have injections, lip fillers, Botox, to me, it makes it easier for them to be susceptible to walk around as patented transhuman non-humans and are eligible for being patented because they have been duped and tricked into having cDNA or mRNA added to their body. But let's see what this chickie has to say. Let's go ahead and let her talk. Let's see what she got.
People are not gonna want to hear this, but most of these famous influencers, probably your favorite one, they are all 304s. Most of them have sugar daddies. They do 304 work, and I did not believe this at first. I didn't even know this, okay? But as most of you know, I'm a scripper, okay?
I didn't know this. I had no idea this went on. I'm a stripper. It looks like her upper lip is paralyzed. Exactly. It looks like her upper lip is paralyzed. It sure, hey, that's all that Botox, lip fillers, and all that stuff, injections, like I say. So she probably came down with this right here. They probably got her, they probably couldn't get her with the strong flu 19 jab that changed her that changed her DNA to cDNA, because once you get the cDNA, you become patent eligible. And when you become patent eligible, what happens is you are no longer classified as a human, but you're a transhuman eligible for patenting. And like I say, the fear tactic to get people with the jibby jab was to get the people who they couldn't get, who willingly sticks injections in their body, which I say women was the easiest ones to get. So with her, they probably had all those mRNAs and cDNAs in those lip fillers, Botox, crow's feet shots, all that stuff. They had those in there, and she's just getting stuck up like crazy. But let's go and let her keep going.
Joined the modeling world, started Playboy and a spicy page. When that
You was in Playboy and didn't know about sugar babies and 304 activities. And she in Los Angeles. She full of shit. She a liar. Come on, sweetie, stop it. You just telling on people at this point.
happened, I got invited to some very big red carpet events. Okay, I went to Vegas. I was with some very big influencer girls, and We were at this big red carpet event. I'm talking to a lot of them.
You know what? I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. I give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she didn't know the influencers, the female influencers, was whores and 304s. Maybe she didn't know that. I give her that. She says she a stripper. She know her stripper friends is going, but she probably didn't know that the influencers were sugar babies and 304s. So I give her that. That can make sense. Maybe she thought that they was getting a bag a different way than what she was. So okay, I digress. My bad, homie. She right. She probably really didn't know. She was like, I thought y'all was actually influencers. And it turns out y'all might as well come be strippers with me. But I mean, I could do this all day. Good Lord. And here's another thing I didn't know when it comes down to this. So as time goes on and more people get these shots, you know what I mean? More and more people start to get these shots right here. They start getting their DNA changed and their cDNA changed over to DNA or whatever, whatnot. And what Mr. Anthony Patch was saying, whenever you get this stuff, is going to change your genetic. It's not only going to change your genetic code from a double helix to a triple helix, but it's also going to make you unaware. It's going to make you materialistic. You're not going to have any morality. You just kind of lose, all humanity about yourself. So even with that being said, as time goes on, situations like this are going to arise, which is pressuring women to become sugar babies, which is what this girl says right here. Point of view, you get the scam DMs to be a sugar daddy. Oh, I can't play that because of music. It says, point of view, you get the scam DMs to be a sugar baby. Now, as time goes on, who's to say that she's not going to go? Because eventually, I mean, what does she have to lose? If her genetic makeup is altered and there's no morality, there's no attached to nature anymore, there's nothing to it, and she has been classified as no longer a human, but a transhuman eligible for patent, mentally, she gonna be like, well, why the hell not? I might as well just go and, get some sugar from daddy and, let him break it off. It only makes sense at that point. As time goes on, the dating and relationship dynamics are gonna shift. They're gonna shift drastically as time goes on. Not just because women choosing to go or economic hard times, but because they're being injected with stuff. People are being injected with things that are modifying their DNA. We got another one here. We have a wife. And I found this one interesting. I'm gonna let this play first, and then we'll get back to it. I'm gonna let this wife talk. Listen to what she says about sugar daddies. As soon as I turn up our volume. Let me go ahead and turn this up.
On behalf of the majority of the women on here, and especially us Christian married women, stop sending me sugar daddy requests, please. I want nothing to do with that. I got all the sugar at home. Please stop with your filtered request.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not convinced. I'm sorry. She actually looked flattered. She looked flattered for that request. Look, let's watch it again. She looked flattered.
Half of the majority of the women on here, and especially us Christian married women, stop sending me sugar daddy requests, please.
Yeah, okay. She looked flattered. She's like, she want to say thank you, but she can't because she married. Oh my goodness. But the reason why I brought the reason why I had brought this one up is because I thought it was actually interesting, because what the last girl said and what this woman is saying, they're saying the same thing. They getting sugar daddy requests like crazy. Like married women, regular women, it don't matter. They keep getting sugar daddy requests. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy when you look at it. They're all getting these sugar daddy requests over and over and over. Even married, it doesn't matter. Now, what if the people who don't know about, getting them getting a jibby jab that could alter their DNA structure? Or, like I keep saying, I think women DNA structure gets altered because they get injections inside of their faces and bodies, which why would you not put it in that? I would, if I was, the powers that be. If that was me, I would say put it in women's cosmetics. Shit. Turn them into materialistic first. We can get them easier. Then we'll fear the other people and try to convince them that there's something out there that's, that's going to haunt them if they cough. So what I'm saying is that for the families, the Christian families, whatever religious you are, Judea, Christian, Hindu, Islam, it don't matter. Your families will even be under attack at some point if your family unit gets altered from a double helix to a triple helix from the person that you're married to, all because you fell victim to fear or, going with the herd. Then you become patent eligible and you become transhuman and you are no longer classified as a human because your DNA structure changes. Then you have babies and now your babies are patent eligible. So what I'm saying is, like, that could be a future divorce in the making, because what's the point of staying married if you got a triple helix? I mean, I mean, if it can go back, I mean, maybe prayer and fasting would help it go back, but once it's gone, it's like, how do you make it go back? How do you fix it? I don't think you can switch it back. But let's look at another lady here. She brings the same thing up. Every time I get a random message asking if I want to be a sugar baby, this is what she says.
Okay, but why is this so true? I just saw this and I'm like, I think I have 70 messages in my inbox that are all asking that same question. Like, I've never in my life, until TikTok came around, I feel so loved. Just kidding. But it is a thing. How many of you are all getting it too? Because I feel like if it was a real thing, we'd all not be broke. Am I right?
If I felt like if it was a real thing, we would all not be broke. Oh boy, think about that there. Now that video was from 2024. Now these women that I just showed you, speaking on getting sugar daddy messages, they were all older. Just imagine the 18 and 20 year olds that are getting it. The 18, 20, 22 year olds that are getting these TikTok messages for sugar daddies. And not just TikTok. I'm pretty sure they happen in I know they happen in Snapchat. I know they happen in Snapchat. But it's almost like pressuring these women to go. It's pressuring them to go because it's like, look, we already know we genetically modified these women. Let's just pressure the ones who are in an economically hard place and let's get their ass on board and let's get it cracking. We need to get these women, let's get these women cracked. Let's start cracking these women now. Let's go ahead and start breaking these backs. It's just over and over and over again. You see it. Let me see if I can find
these last 3 years.
All right, here we go. Where is this at? All right, I got one more I'm going to show about this, and then we're going to move on to something different to finish up the rest of the show.
More sugar.
All right, no, not you. So look at this one. This one was really interesting. Dating a sugar daddy. Look at these women. They're from a different country. I don't know. I'm going to assume South America, maybe Mexico. I don't know. But let's see what they say about dating a sugar daddy. Listen to this. And it's in a different language, so I may have to like pause it and speak it to you as they go along. But here we go. What about dating a sugar daddy? She said, I do. I think women. So she was like, yes, I think women. She said, I think women, we all like to be spoiled with gifts and all that stuff. So she's pro sugar daddy. And then this one over here says, nah, it's not for me. She's like, I ain't down with that life. She says, I wouldn't be comfortable with it. Plus, I want to have my own money. So, and look, she stands alone. She stands by herself. She's standing solo alone by herself. Nobody around her. She's standing by herself. Let's look at the other girls. See, the other girls are standing as a unit. They all together. All these other women are like, hey, Daddy finna give us that sugar. We going. She says working for ourselves is good.
Oh, sí, pues uno conseguir las cosas, claro que sí, pero obviamente una vez me...
She said it's working by ourselves is good. It's obviously something that we want to do. However, sometimes we need a little extra help. And this is a good dynamic. I think this is a perfect dynamic. And shout out to her for standing on her own too. A little petite self. Like, shout out to her. But she's standing on her own too. But this is a perfect dynamic. The sugar daddy girls are on the left and the sugar daddy less one is on the right. Which I say is, what if these women took a jab and got Botox and fillers inside their body and got mDNA or mRDNA all inside they self and transhuman, and she doesn't, and she's still a human with a soul.
Una ayuda extra y eso no es lo en el bolsillo. Si no necesita pues dinero extra, eso le ayuda y le puede ayudar mucho más fácil.
She said, hey, if we can get some money in our bank accounts and make things cheaper, that's good. Basically, she said it's okay to have a double source of income and use a sugar daddy to their advantage. The other girl's like, no, I got my own money. I don't need a sugar daddy money. I can have my own.
Fácil generar una de las cosas que uno puede y quiere conseguirlas.
Consideraría salir con un sugar daddy.
Okay, so I think this is what happened. Dating a sugar daddy, and they were all in the same line. I think that's what happened. As you can see, they're all in the same line. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 of them. So it seemed like all 6 were in a line, and then what happened was... See, they all migrated, so they switched over. So everybody on this side is for sugar daddy. Let me turn this down. Everybody on this side is pro sugar daddy, and then she stood alone over here by herself with no sugar daddy. So this is a perfect example of what I think this trajectory would actually look like. This is a perfect example. This is the best example I think that I could show you. There were 6 girls in a line. One said no. Let me see. There were 6 girls in a line. And one girl said no to the jab. She said, nah, I don't want to take the jab. I don't want to be a transhuman. I don't want to be classified as a transhuman and be eligible for patenting. No, I don't want that. The other girls, they was like, the hell with that. We going. We going. We going for the sugar daddy. And we going to take the jibby jab of any sort, any kind. Now, all these women look like they got some kind of injections in their body. At some point, maybe like some lip fillers, some Botox or something, or maybe just makeup. But as you can see, she's standing alone on her own. Now, one thing none of them did talk about, and I'll just be quite honest and call a spade. It's just me. But ain't nobody talking about love. Yeah. No love. Yep. Cause even the one, even her, even though she stood alone, she wasn't talking about no love. She's like, I got my own. So love was not a part of the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Love is not a part of that conversation. So what I try to tell you is just be wary of what's going on. Pay attention to the big picture. The big picture is, man, somebody is trying to fuck with your genetic code. Somebody's trying to alter your genetic code. They're going deeper than the surface. And what happens is, this is what will end up happening in the future, is what we keep seeing. Because you see that majority of the people will develop a hive mind mentality. They're going to develop a hive mind mentality easily because they're all on the same page. You know, they can all be, how do you say? They could all be technologically stirred with frequencies of stuff inside their body to be hive-minded to think the same thing. It'll be rare if you have one standing alone, standing on her own 2 feet or his own 2 feet, and the rest of them will be, you know, hive-minded to think the same way. That's the direction that we're headed in. So, you know, like the Bible says, you know, the path to hell is going to be wide and the path to heaven will be narrow and few will find it. Now, let's take a look at the hive mind. This gentleman is going to talk about the hive mind. This is from 2023. This video is from 2023. And the video with the girls, what was that from? That was from 2024. So this video we're going to show you right now, this is a hive mind population. And from 2023, this guy spoke about the hive mind mentality in 2023. And he's going to speak about the last 3 years of what he's noticed. So let's go ahead and let him talk about the hive mind and let's see what he sees going on in 2023.
These last 3 years, some people
have started to notice that there's a really hive mind that exists in a lot of the world's population, that just a certain frequency just has to be sent out in the world. A certain idea just has to be sent out, and 70% of the world's population just go along with it. And they don't even think about it. They don't ask about it. And if you do ask them about it, they're just blank. They just, why are you doing this? Well, they don't know. That's what I was told to do. And so these last 3 years, people have.
That's that hive mind. He said the last 3 years. This video was in 2023. He said the last 3 years. Well, what's happened since those 3 years? This is what happened since those 3 years. This right here. This is what went down. This right here. This is what happened in those last 3 years. This is it. It says the mRNA individuals are no longer human, but are now instead transhuman and patent eligible. Yeah. So you're going to have a hive mind mentality, because if you have something patent, then I'm pretty sure that means you have control over it. If you got control over it, well then, what can you do with what you control? Well, with whatever little nanoparticles you put inside them shits, you can shoot out a frequency and probably get those things to, do some stuff that you wanted to do. Now, this is going to help you understand a little better. This girl, I don't know who the hell she is, but she's going to say something. She's going to speak on what happens when things get inside you and what could possibly be done to get you to react a certain way due to a certain frequency that could be activated when something is inside of you. So I don't know what this is. I don't know where this came from. I don't know what movie this is, but I thought this was rather interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and let this lady talk. And she's going to say, for my love for humanity, let's hear her talk.
My fellow humans, the shot is not medicine. It is an intra-body nano network administered through. What they're finding in people are not blood clots. It is self-assembling, self-replicating nanotechnology. Lipid nanoparticles that have been modified on a molecular level, wrapped in pegylation polyethylene glycol, one of the components that can be used to make hydrogel. The lipid particles are modified to be more sensitive to heat and frequency. When placed in the human body, they become excited from the heat. In that excitement, they vibrate. With that excitement, magnetofection is created, and the particles slowly drift towards each other, hence self-assembling. This intra-body nano network.
Heat activates the particles and they become closer to each other. What is it that we do that heats up our body? Sex. Sex heats up our body, which then explains high level of degeneracy if this nanoparticles is inside of people from taking lip fillers, Botox, and any other things that could be injected in your body. Think about that. Keep going.
Is the first step to make the human body a device linked into the Internet of Bodies. The shot also changes human DNA, rendering the person a GMO owned by a corporation. This allows for the system to freely harvest psychological, biological, genetic, and physiological data from the individual without their knowledge or permission. They are now products owned by the corporation that gave them the poke. At the top of all of those corporations is BlackRock and Vanguard. Information is now the new gold, and it will be the foundation for the new financial system coming, the CBDC. The next step is a quantum dot tattoo.
Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I just want to scratch the surface to get you to understand exactly. If the nanolipid particles are inside of you, then therefore your DNA has been altered. In order for them to be activated and get closer together, heat and frequency make that happen. Well, that explains degeneracy, because then when we have sex, we heat up. You naturally get hot in the activity of sex, which then in turn will make those nanoparticles active and get closer together to basically achieve whatever outcome that they're trying to achieve, whatever the case may be. So that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So It lines up with degeneracy. It lines up with sugar baby lifestyle. It lines up. It all lines up. Everything makes sense. That's why we got the sugar baby population going crazy. Because if a lot of people are injected with something that have nanotechnological lipids inside of their body, lipid meaning fat, and they need it to be active, and in order to activate it, use heat and frequency, then I say the best people to get it into is women, because women inject themselves with shit, and they demand the injections. You only have to give people the jibby jab out of fear, because you can't get to those people who don't take shots on a regular. You know what I mean? You go after men, children, and women who keep themselves natural. That's who you go after with the fear jibby jab, to try to get them to alter their DNA. But the other source of women, the Botox, lip fillers, the BBLs, the breast implants and breast reductions and all that, they're going for it, and they have no clue. But then it helps you understand as to why they act the way they act. They think the way they think. They have a hive mind that go all together. And then on top of that, how do these things how do these things become active and form together? Through heat and frequency. Well, how do you get people in touch with heat and frequency naturally on a cold day? You know, you ramp up degeneracy, and then you also add in sugar baby and then escorting and all these things, because it's gonna promote more sex. It's simple to see. It ain't even rocket science at this point. I'm just hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. Now, let's see. We got one more thing. Yeah, we got two more. We got two more things I'm going to show you. All right, so this one is going to be, let's see. This is a hypothetical. Somebody made this in 2024. It says the Hive Mind Project in 2085. Let's see what a hive mind project in 2085 would be if we go down this consistent road of people getting injections inside of their body and altering their DNA. Let's see how this pans out for years to come. Let's see how this looks on a longer trajectory.
Hive Mind Project in 2085. The Hive Mind Project. In 2085, Musk's neural link creates a hive mind for corporate efficiency, erasing individuality. Major companies merge employees' minds into a single, efficient hive consciousness. Workers lose personal memories, only waking up outside of work. Those who resist are ostracized, forced into remote regions with no access to tech or jobs. If you start to forget who you are, it might be the hive mind already assimilating you.
There it is. As you see, if you forget who you are, it might be the hive mind assimilating you, which goes hand in hand with what this man said. He literally said just that. Let me see if I can find it to where he said that. He literally said just that. Let's see if we can find it where he said it. Just to give you a recap.
Ethical, legal, all of those go away. Once a person is injected, almost immediately their DNA undergoes transformation. Almost immediately they lose all awareness of the fact that they've lost their independence, their ability to think on their own, to make decisions on their own, and to affect them on a moral level. Their moral independence, their beliefs, religious, moral, ethical, legal, all of those go away. If you remove the independent thought and that awareness that you've lost your independence is gone, what then do the powers that be do with these new forms of humans, hybrids? They can control them. They can turn them into a serf class. Not S-U-R-F, not surfers, but S-E-R-F, a class of slaves to serve the elite.
There you have it. It's that simple. It's that simple. So when your DNA structure is altered and it changes from a natural to a synthetic, which at that point, I don't know if it's any way of turning it back. But then you have to ask yourself, as a man, how do you navigate in said situation, understanding this? Because you don't want to jeopardize anything. And if you do still want to have kids, you have to find like-minded people who have a double helix structure like you. Otherwise, your kid's going to be patentable, going to be patent eligible, and which is what you don't want. And I would go so far as to see if you could speak to a scientist and be like, hey, what does my DNA structure look like? Give them some blood and see if they could look at your DNA structure and let you know if it's still a double or a triple helix to figure it out, if you're not sure. But looking at the dynamic between relationships, between men and women, and you go at it from the perspective that I presented to you, and you think of it from this perspective, and majority of and if women are majority attacked first, unknowingly, if you incorporate being injected via cosmetic beauty products, Botox and lip fillers and lip injections and necks and all that shit, and butt lifts and breast reduction and breast implants and all that stuff and mommy tucks. If you look at it from that perspective and you see women being the forefront cattle of this, how do you go forth with it? Because they're going to be materialistic, and the nature of who they are, the feminine nature, is thrown out the window. Hell, they don't even know it. They just know survival and materialism and pleasure, because the nature of their constitution of the DNA is gone. They don't know any better. They don't know anything. They're just like, you know what I mean? And you have to be able to decipher if you're trying to plant your seed and move on in this world in a different way. And the only way I could say for you to do it, or the only way I would say safe to do it, would be what Enoch did with Zion. That would be the only way I would say, is Enoch, the same way Enoch did with Zion. Zion was described as a city of righteous people where the Lord dwelt, after they embraced Enoch's message of repentance and gospel teachings. Enoch and Zion narratives. Enoch established Zion by preaching repentance, leading his people to righteousness, and creating a city where the Lord resided. So basically just a small group of people who kept their genetic makeup, who kept their DNA structure to a double helix and didn't get it altered through a triple helix from injections from you know who. Now, as a man, if you're still navigating in this world and you still, want to play and enjoy yourself, but you have a way of how do I navigate though? How do I move? Like, how do I know who's who and who's what? Number one, you don't, unless, like I say, you can get a sample of somebody's blood or a woman's blood sample who she's willing to give to you. But right now, for the majority of the part, what we're seeing is that majority of women are going the materialistic route. Even in the Christian sector, even in the Islam sector, it's all a sugar baby route. It's all a sugar baby route. And the final message I'm gonna give to you here is from CGA. I'm not gonna play the video. I'm gonna just let him talk, cause I don't want to say why, but I'm gonna let his video play, and I'm just leave it on me. I'm gonna let you hear what he has to say, just to give you an understanding as to how the dynamic of relationships will be moving forward. Unfortunately, because of the fact that this is how things are being pushed intentionally, not for the better, but for the control of people and for a hive mind mentality to go forth. And you clearly see that women are going for this, and men who are not all 100% good are doing the same thing, but are adapting, understanding that, hey, if you give your DNA as a man, are you giving your DNA to a woman who has a double helix that can produce a child with a soul, or a woman who has a triple helix who's going to give you a soulless baby that's going to be patent eligible for the system? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let him speak, and it's gonna be the last message of the day. Here we go.
Women have abdicated the throne of femininity. So what they've done is they've allowed other women to outsource themselves to be able to do so. So I know I don't need a wife. I got Rosalinda and her 3 fucking friends that comes over and cleans my house every Wednesday. So I don't need a woman to clean my house. Neither do I need her to cook. I got a chef. Shout out to Chef Cass. Chef Cass provides me meals. He drops them off every Monday, and I go in there and warm them bitches up, lunch and dinner. Then I eat out 2 or 3 days a week, and I take a junior college piece of ass maybe 2 times a week. I don't need nobody to clean my house. I got 2 or 3 Mexican women to do it. And they clean my house and don't even give me no shit, no back talk. Half of them can't even speak English. She don't be up here mad that I'm making her clean. So now I beat the system. Now that women have abdicated the throne of femininity, now I can hire women to do shit. You can hire them as a personal assistant. They'll come in here and put labels on fucking files. But if I ask my wife to do it, she think I'm crazy. She got her own job to do. Well, go out there. I don't need you out here. So I got a personal assistant. I got a woman that knows how to cook. I have a chef that knows how to cook. I actually have women that clean for me. Now, I literally don't need a woman. Like, what do I need her for? To drop off pussy? Well, guess what? I have the junior college for that. Women have outsourced their fucking throne. They've abdicated the throne of femininity. Now women sell pussy because women don't want to fuck unless there's money on the table. So guess what? Instead of begging the same piece of pussy to fuck me, I can get a different piece of pussy to fuck me, a young, attractive piece of pussy. Or if I want a fat bitch tonight, or if I want a Mexican, a Puerto Rican, a black woman, a white woman. Who would I have today? 23, 22, 24. Outsource the pussy. Hey, listen. I can get what I need to get. I don't have to wait for it, tap dance, impress, gesture max, complain, do dishes, fold socks. While Rosalinda's cleaning up, I got a 24-year-old woman just graduated from college that need a little bit of rent money. She comes over here, toots that ass up, and I can get back to work afterwards. I don't have to cuddle with her. I don't have to make her feel good. I don't have to act like, oh, I came inside of her. Now I'm going to get her. This is how you beat the game. Unfortunately, you have these disinfected men that want to drag you back to the plantation of misery. They're acting like I'm making the wrong decision, and I'm literally making the right decision. I'm making the decision to free myself from this headache. I've outsourced women. I've learned how to cook and clean. Even if I run out of food, I know how to cook or clean. Uber Eats. My wife don't want to pick up food from the goddamn Chinese store, but a woman will get in her Mercedes C-Class for a $5 tip, pick up my food and deliver it right to my fucking doorstep and take pictures with it with her feet in the goddamn picture. What do I need a wife for?
And as you can see, he led with femininity. Well, what was the first thing he said? He said that, I can't quote him on this, but femininity has basically been thrown to the wayside. And I say femininity has been thrown to the wayside, as well as many other things. But really, I say women would be attacked more simply because if you take this right here, like I keep saying, and you take these injections and you allegedly put them in jibby jabs and try to fear people, you may or may not get some. However, if you take this same jibby jab, which looks like that could go in your Botox, your crow's feet, your lip fillers, lip injections, your side of your neck, you can get the same desirable outcome by basically pushing mRNA vaccinated individuals who therefore are no longer classified as human, but as transhuman and eligible for patenting. And now you have, within 6 hours, the genome has transformed over to transhuman, which was validated by the U.S. Supreme Court law with world applications in 2013. No longer legally human, Diamond versus Chakrabarty in 1980. So, yeah, femininity easily has been thrown by the wayside. And I would say that we see it more until this day, and it's going to harm the dynamic of relationships. And what he said might have seemed harsh, but if you put this and add this to context and add the fact that